I was shot in the leg, blood was flying out all over the place. I saw bullets whizzing past my eyes. The car was dead, it wasn't going anywhere. I couldn't get it to start. I tried over and over, shifting gears, turning the ignition, doing whatever I could to get the car to start. The car was not starting.
2 years of war on multiple fronts may feel like they're behind us, but Israel's security reality has never truly paused. Even now, Iran continues ramping up ballistic missile production. Along the Gaza border, terrorist groups routinely violate ceasefire arrangements. In the north, Hezbollah keeps testing Israel with near daily attacks. And in Syria, regime forces and Iranian-backed militias parade openly, chanting Hamas solidarity slogans and threatening to march on Jerusalem. And when peace is this elusive, when daily life can shift in seconds, it's no wonder that children across Israel are showing signs of trauma. After living in fight or flight for 2 years, the trauma is now surfacing with new force. But for Israelis, this isn't new. Trauma's been woven into life here since the country's beginning. During the 2000 Intifada, from 2000 to 2005, suicide bombers crossed into Israeli cities, blowing themselves up on buses, in cafes, in shopping centers. Hundreds of civilians were killed. Children witnessed horrors, lost parents, or grew up without a sense of safety. Families were shattered. Widows and orphans became part of the national landscape. And then came this war, the worst in modern Israeli history. On October 7th, Hamas terrorists stormed the border, murdering and torturing 1,200 civilians. Parents, children, grandparents, babies. They burned homes to the ground and dragged hostages into Gaza, including infants. In the north, tens of thousands of Israelis were evacuated under the threat of Radwan Hezbollah forces infiltrating their communities the way Hamas did in southern Israel. Across the entire country, missiles rained down for months. Children slept in safe rooms. Schools closed. Anxiety replaced the routine. The trauma is real, and while Israelis are resilient, getting up each morning, carrying on because life demands it, our children absorb every single moment. From those who endured the unthinkable to those who simply lived with a daily fear, a generation is growing up shaped by war. Founded to help children in Israel recover from trauma, emotional, psychological, and physical, this organization provides therapy, safe spaces, and hope for young lives shaken by terror and war, uncertainty and loss. They need help, they need healing, and that's where the Shiloh Israel Children's Fund comes in. Today, we're here to see this remarkable operation in action, to meet the people who refuse to let trauma define the future of Israel's children. We are here at Shiloh, a small community in Judea and Samaria, the biblical heartland of Israel. Shiloh is known as the site of the ancient tabernacle and a place where history and modern life meet. This region lives under constant threat of terror attacks, a reality that has only intensified in recent years as Iranian-backed terror groups and local cells seek to target isolated communities, the roads, and civilian traffic along the main arteries. It's here that one of Israel's most unique healing initiatives has taken root, the Shiloh Israel Children's Fund, built to give children a place to breathe again. This isn't just one building, but an entire therapeutic village, classrooms, art rooms, animal-assisted therapy spaces, gardens, and safe play areas where kids can slowly rebuild trust and confidence. The founder, David Rubin, an American-Israeli activist, former mayor of Shiloh, and survivor of a 2001 terrorist shooting that wounded him and his 3-year-old son, created the organization to help children heal from trauma through therapeutic, educational, and recreational programs. And at a time like this, after 2 years of war and ongoing threats nationwide, this work has never been more important. Shalom, David. Shalom, Chava.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you. Welcome. Great.
So, David, maybe we start with the basics. I've known you in the capacity of the mayor of the town Shiloh that we're standing in, Shiloh in Israel that we're standing in. Maybe tell us a bit about how you got to where we are today.
About a year after my term as mayor
Yeah.
in Shiloh, I was coming back from Jerusalem with my 3-year-old son when our car was ambushed
What year is this?
right in the middle of December 2001.
So at the height of the Intifada.
That's right, that's right. We were halfway home from Jerusalem. I had my 3-year-old son buckled behind me in the toddler seat. Car was hit by a massive hail of bullets.
Yeah.
Terrorists were shooting from the side of the road with Kalashnikov, AK-47 assault rifles. I was shot in the leg. Blood was flying out all over the place. I saw bullets whizzing past my eyes. The car was dead. It wasn't going anywhere. I couldn't get it to start. I tried over and over, shifting gears, turning the ignition, doing whatever I could to get the car to start. The car was not starting. And then I turned around to my son, who was staring straight ahead. His eyes were wide open. His mouth was wide open. He looked like he was trying to cry, but no sounds were coming out. And I figured I just got to get out of here. He's probably in shock. I turned the ignition. I shifted gears, trying to get the car to start. Then suddenly the car started as if it had never had a problem starting before. I hit the gas. I drove 120 miles an hour almost to get to the next community up the road where I hoped I could get an ambulance. Mm-hmm. Paramedics jumped out of an ambulance. They ran into the car. They pulled my son out, and they shouted to the driver of the ambulance that he's also been shot. He's been shot in the head. That a bullet had
shot in the head.
Yes, a bullet had gone into his head where the skull meets with the neck, causing a skull fracture and internal bleeding in the cerebellum. They get to work on us in the hospital. They performed a couple of operations on both of us, and when my son came back from the hospital 3 weeks later, after having been told that the bullet had missed his brainstem by 1 millimeter.
Wow.
He was released after several weeks of operations, and a couple of weeks after that, he's sitting in his in our living room. He's sitting and he's doing a role play with some toys that were on the floor of the terror attack.
Oh my.
I realized at that moment, this was what I'm supposed to do with this. That, when something terrible happens, a believing Jew immediately says, what good is supposed to come out of this tragedy? Mm-hmm. And when I saw him doing the role play, and tears filled up in my eyes, and I was overwhelmed, because this was the first moment that he had said anything about terror attack, expressed anything about terror attack. And it also became clear to me, this was what God wanted me to do with this, to take the evil of the terrorism and turn it into good. And the whole idea of treating children who suffer from trauma, from terror attacks, became my life's mission.
Chava Kleinman is one of the remarkable people at the heart of Shiloh Israel Children's Fund mission. Working with children who've experienced trauma takes a rare kind of strength, patience, and deep intuition. And Chava brings all of that to her work.
So my name is Chava Kleinman, a social worker for almost 30 years in Israel, originally from Canada. But I've been living here in Shiloh for 30 years and have been working with families and children, individuals, pretty much my whole career. Over the past many years, I've been focused on trauma intervention, community resilience, and certainly because of the events of the past few years, that field has been very amplified, and have been put my focus on there.
I know this is going to be complicated, but in layman's terms, who don't understand this, what is it that you need to do to help children with therapy, with whatever the mechanisms are? Like, what do those projects look like?
Okay. So we work on in a number of different ways. We have a big therapy center here in Shiloh,
Mm-hmm.
A smaller center in Eli, and we have another campus of horse therapy at the horse farm just across the road from Shiloh. So in our therapy centers, we try to work in very creative ways, because children, you can't just bring them into a room and say, hi, what's going on? What happened to you? And the idea of these things is to let them, to give them a way to express what they're going through
Mm-hmm.
in a way that they can relate to and bring it out, and not just, come and talk about what's going on. So that's what we do in our therapy centers. As well, we do a lot of group work because, first of all, that way we can get to more children and give them what they need. And also we do work inside the schools. So in that way, sometimes parents, because of what's going on or in general, are dealing with so many things that it's hard for them to, bring their child to the actual therapy center, even though we try to make it very accessible. So we do group work inside the schools, art therapy, we do agricultural therapy.
So this is abnormal for an Israeli school?
Yeah, this is our horticulture therapy program, where children can actually get down on the ground, get their hands dirty.
So this is exactly what they're doing?
This is what they're doing. And we see it here live. And they started this whole area from nothing, and the girls and the children can actually see the plants growing and give them a sense of renewal and growth and hope, even with everything we're dealing with.
So this is part of the therapy process?
This is part of the therapy process. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it guided or is it just
yes,
more?
Yes, there's a therapist, specialist in field that works with them to help them, to guide them, and to supervise the process.
And the idea is what? Is that through the work they're able to talk through things, or?
Yeah, and through the idea of planting and seeing something grow gives them renewal of hope, and the idea that we can go on and we can continue even with all the hard things that we've been exposed to.
So the idea is what? I want to understand the mechanics behind this. You listed about like a dozen different types of therapy.
Right.
And the idea is finding something for a kid, a girl, a boy, that works with them in a way where they're able to unpack emotional issues, but they're doing it in an experiential way. Is that the idea?
Exactly. That's the idea.
Okay.
That's the idea. And also, the idea that they can take care of a plant and nurture it and let it grow gives them a renewed sense of empowerment that they're helping somebody else, which gives them also the ability to help.
So is the whole idea of control part of this, that they're controlling the situation?
Exactly.
Okay.
Right? Because one of the things in trauma is that a child or a person feels a loss of control.
Yeah.
So we're helping them.
Also for adults.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Help them regain this experience. So that's part of what we're doing.
So you're giving them agency by the fact that they're the ones who are in control of the situation they create.
That's right.
Okay.
And you learn with a plant that sometimes it needs water, sometimes it needs sun, sometimes it needs rest. And so it's sort of...
So what other types of therapy are we going to see here in the school?
We're going to see an art therapy room where the same idea, children are doing things that are hand-on. They're expressing their emotions that are trapped inside through art or through projects because they can't get it out in words. We turn around and unfortunately we face a very sad reality, and each of these trees were planted by the children here in memory of fallen soldiers from this area.
Recently?
Yeah.
So these are all young trees, and all of these are soldiers that were killed in this last war.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It is. It is, and that's the reality of what children are facing in this area.
It goes back to the comment we were making earlier about the fact that everywhere you go here, there's someone who's been touched by death or by violence.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. And yeah, and so it's the same idea of trying to, plant and renew hope. But yeah, this is the reality that we're facing. So this is one of our art therapy rooms where children have a chance to hands-on get down and do work and create things to help them express what they're going through and what's going on. So not only is it just art, but children are doing woodwork and carpentry.
We seem to be having a blast.
It's amazing. It's an amazing, amazing program. And
maybe I should go help her.
You have experience?
I do. Quite extensive, actually.
Well, one of the things we do in therapy is to let children make mistakes and learn from them. So Mate, I want you to meet Shani.
Hi, Shani.
She's a mother of 5 girls. And I think that she can help to explain a little bit from a first-hand experience what parents are going through these past few years, especially since her husband has been away for most of the time in reserve duty.
So Shani, tell us how it's been. You said you're a mother of? 5 girls.
5 girls.
That in itself is a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
That in itself is a challenge. So we've been talking about what this war has looked like for families in this area. What has been your experience? What has been your family's experience?
So my husband was called in on October 7th in the morning during shul. And he was away, I would say, about 300 days in the past 2 years. It hasn't been easy. I have girls. My youngest is 5, he's turning 5, and my oldest is 16. My 8-year-old is the one who was having the most difficulties. My daughter would wake up every single night. She would go straight to the TV and just sit and watch, and she just didn't want to sleep. She was very scared of what would happen if she went to sleep.
Like letting her guard down.
Yeah, yeah. And I wasn't sleeping then at night, which wasn't good for anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
So everyone's in a bad mood all the time.
Everyone was in a bad mood. And with a house full of girls, that's not easy. And I called for help. And I asked someone, a therapist, like, what should I be doing? What am I doing wrong? And basically, I mean, she said you have to help her know that it's okay to go to sleep. It's okay to let the guard down every now and then, and that someone else will be taking care of the guard during the night. And she just has, it's not easy. And everything falls on me, basically, being that there's no one else to help out. But what's really interesting is that we decided as a family to try to do things in order to help ourselves and to be active. If it's baking cakes for the soldiers, if it's
I ate many of those cakes.
Yeah?
By the way, yeah.
how were they?
I gained some weight in the beginning of the war, like most soldiers did.
Right.
But we decided that we have to be active and just do things in order to keep ourselves busy, and that was our wave. So my husband's been home for 3-4 months, and now he's back in the army. And I kind of feel like we have to restart again every time that he leaves, because I mean, they get nervous again every time, as if it's the first time.
Yeah.
But they already know how to be strong, so it's just a matter of reminding them, like, this is what we're going to do now, and how we're going to do things, and giving them the information helps them, like, to know what the plan is, what we're doing, how we're doing.
I think this is what we were going at earlier, is the tension here doesn't go away.
Right.
It's the war is one thing, but that comes and goes, and you know the tension in Judea and Samaria, the tension with our neighbors, that's not going away anytime soon. And creating a healthy environment and a system where people are getting treated, and there's a personal, then a community and a family sort of ecosystem that helps create a sense of normal life and a healthy engagement with these problems as they come up. That's what keeps things moving forward. What does it look like on a community level? And I'm thinking, so this community, Shiloh, has lost probably a very high number of, relatively speaking, of people in combat. Because again, Judea and Samaria, high proportion of people in combat and elite units. Then you had a hostage,
Avinatan,
that's right, from this community.
Right.
And probably people that were killed outside of that. And it's a small community.
That's
What
right.
does that do to a community of a couple hundred families, you know, when you have that much trauma in one community?
Every child has been affected by what's going on. You don't need to have a father or brother or mother or sister or uncle who was killed in a terror attack or was wounded in the battlefield. Every child has been affected by all the things that we've been living through. And also, I think it's really important to put politics aside. We're looking at children, and we can help children heal. And if we don't do it, the future generation, you know, I can't even imagine what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Children should just be able to be children, you know, to go to school, to worry about, you know, who's going to win the soccer game, and not to worry about, you know, if their father, brother, mother, sister, or someone's going to come home alive that day. So when you work with trauma intervention in a community or in a closed population, you start by mapping out circles of who is affected.
Yeah.
You know, the inner circle and the immediate family and the outer. And at a certain point in the beginning of the war, actually after a few days, we realized that we couldn't work like that anymore because all the circles were converging, and we had to think on a much wider range. And so in our horse farm, so we do horseback riding therapy. Okay, so we are here now at the horse therapy farm, where this is another one of our creative therapies where we help children and youth, and actually also wounded soldiers, express and get through what they've been through in a different way. There is nothing more empowering than getting on a horse and controlling the horse and showing it what to do and how, that's just an empowering thing for a child to be able to control the horse.
So a lot of kids that are dealing with post-trauma come here to get the kind of treatment they need?
Post-trauma, anxieties. It could be children that, have been directly involved, lost, a sibling or a parent. But also, like we've been talking about, just children that, this situation has led them to needing to get help.
Mm-hmm.
So the farm has been around for almost 20 years. This is Daniel, who is he is the owner of the farm, and his wife, Dasi. And like we were saying, Mati, actually this farm was created, this whole area was built in memory of Daniel's brother, who was killed in a terror attack here. So this is like another one of those.
Same theme.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, there's a lot of suffering and a lot of pain
Right.
that's involved.
Exactly.
And then the healing goes together with it.
That's right.
How many of the kids here need help? How many of the kids are getting help? Are we talking tens of thousands of kids? We're treating hundreds, but we need to be treating thousands. What are the numbers?
So I'll start off by saying that I really think that actually every child needs help because of what we've been through. Obviously, there are children that need it on, on a more intense level or a more immediately. We're treating thousands of children right now, but I believe that there are certainly at least a few more thousand that need our help. And either we're not getting them to them right away, or there's a waiting list. And that's what we're trying to do, is to expand our services and really get to every child that needs help. Because we also know that if we wait too long, the impact of that is not very healthy for the children.
Both for them and for society.
That's right, because they're our future generation of this country.
Yeah.
And if we don't help them, then what is our future going to look like?
The need has never been greater. After everything Israel's children have endured, now is the time to stand with them and support their healing. Join us in helping Israel's children heal. Go to the link below to donate and be part of this crucial mission. That's www.israelchildren.org/help. Again, israelchildren, one word, .org/help. A lot of people, I think, outside of Israel, after the October 7th attack, they understand the idea of trauma for kids in Israel. But here in Judea and Samaria, or in the Benjamin Regional Council, it's slightly different because these kids are not new to trauma. They're not new to terrorist attacks. It's been something that has existed here since we've been here, essentially. What does that look like from the perspective of generational trauma?
Well, first of all, you have to have a vision. And, we always say, know where you come from and know where you're going and know to whom you have to give an accounting, ultimately. We know that when one person is affected by trauma in a family, that the whole family is affected by the trauma, and that the generations are affected. It's amazing. I'm saying that this is multiplied in hundreds of families that have that same situation, where the trauma is throughout the family. So we move forward. We're moving forward, whatever the challenge is. Whatever the challenges are, we are moving forward, and we're thankful that we have people who stand with us in doing that.
Yes, I agree. I think the part that you're saying is what people are familiar with. They talk about Israelis, especially in the last couple of years, and they say, oh, you're a resilient people. Oh, you're a strong people. And I, to that, I'll respond and say, we are. It's not necessarily because we chose to, we had no other choice. And then the next part is they'll say, don't worry about me. I'm an adult. I have the emotional tools to deal with most of what life throws at my direction. Most of us do, and we have, for the most part, we're able to deal with the things. Pray for the kids. Pray for the next generation.
We Israelis who came here to live, to live in some pretty dangerous places. We came here because we believe in it. We know that this is the land that God gave us, but the children, they don't know. They were born into it.
Yeah.
And so we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to protect the children, to protect those who are hurting, to give them the treatment that they need. And that's something that we're all a part of. All of us who live here and all of us who stand with us are helping us to heal the trauma in the children, help them to move forward. And I've seen, we've tracked children over 20 years of doing this, and we see how they, what happens to them.
So David, if people want to get behind what you're doing here, which I think is the most important work that can be done, how do they support what you're doing?
We have a very simple URL,
Yeah.
israelchildren.org.
That is quite simple.
That's the website, israelchildren.org. They can go to the website and they can find out more about what we do, and they can see a lot of videos that make it very clear for those of us who aren't, for those of them, those of the potential supporters who have not been here or for whatever reason are not able to come here. They can go to the website, they can find out more, and
hopefully
and
donate.
They can hopefully donate.
I think they should donate for this.
Hopefully donate at israelchildren.org.
Perfect. Israel is a nation like no other, a place where people endure the unimaginable and still choose to rise. Again and again, from pain and suffering, extraordinary individuals emerge, turning trauma into purpose and heartbreak into healing. David and the team here at Shiloh are living proof of that spirit. This is the land of the Bible, where values of compassion, responsibility, and courage are not just stories, they're lived every single day. In moments of darkness, those values come alive, carried by people who refuse to give up on one another, who refuse to let fear or violence define the future of our children. But resilience does not happen alone. We depend on friends like you, people who care, who stand with Israel, and who understand that healing our children is healing our future. And to keep this work strong, to keep hope alive, we need your partnership. So please donate using the link below and help us continue protecting and strengthening Israel's children. The link is, one last time, israelchildren.org/help. Again, israelchildren.org/help.